Do you think it's weird he warms up his own baby milk? Welcome back to AsArt with Nick and John. We post 3 videos a week. Hit that subscribe button to stay updated and go to asart.space for audio and video links. If you like the boys, we've done cool deepfakes.
Yes.
We did Superman as Homelander.
Henry Cavill.
We did Aquaman as the Deep.
Jason Momoa.
And I don't know if it's out yet, but we're working on Wonder Woman and Queen Maeve.
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, it was good. That was good. And we also been covering every show.
Yeah.
Every episode of the show. So
right now, as of this recording, we only have about 2 episodes left in season 2.
Yes.
But if you want to go down the nerd rabbit hole with us and you've watched the series, go back and listen to some fun theories. You can hear all Nick's crazy theories, hear how he's always wrong, and me just staying quiet when he comes up with them.
But they're so good.
Yes,
they're so good
very
you
fun.
want them to be right. All right.
So this is the second installment of a deep dive series on the characters and the boys. One of our favorite things about the series is how defined and how good they flesh out the characters. And something we haven't gotten too much about, like Mother's Milk, haven't gotten too much on them yet. Black Noir, still my favorite, but haven't gotten into him yet. But Homelander and some of the other characters, like we did one on Stormfront.
Yes.
Go check that one out. And this is our second installment of that. So Nick, go ahead and start us in.
So let's talk about this. So egomaniac. That's what I think of.
For sure.
That's what I think of when I think of Homelander. But let's dive deep. So he was a test subject.
Yeah.
Basically.
So why is he an egomaniac?
Yes.
Because he's a test subject.
So, I mean, I think the Vought theory too was almost like the Superman like story where he was like an alien who came from space almost. Because the character's basically ripped off of Superman.
Of course,
But no, he was a lab rat, and the closest thing he had to a mother was a nurse, or not a nurse, but a scientist.
I had forgotten.
Was it a nurse or scientist?
What happened to the scientist?
She got too much love from Homelander. Homelander gave her a hug because he loved her so much, but she was like, remember, she was like almost spooked.
That.
Yeah, he kills her by hugging her.
Is this a flashback or?
Yeah, it was like remember when he was talking to like the scientist and he was getting like flashbacks.
Oh, it was during that.
It was during season 1.
Okay.
So basically, I mean, I think it was one of those things where she wanted to like leave, and he was like, "No, don't leave."
Okay.
And they're like, "Help me!" And that's when they like came in, kind of thing. And and now he's trying to be a father.
Yeah.
Woo! We got a lot to unpack here.
but the thing about this is like any good villain, and one thing that Nick and I love about this series is there's no defined good guys and bad guys, especially if we've gone through season 2. Yeah. The Butcher is every bit as bad as Homelander. He just doesn't have the same super capabilities to kill people as easy. So there's
also very similar father situation too.
So as we're going along, not only have we gotten, before we even saw how similar they are, not only have we gotten plenty of reasons to sympathize and empathize with Homelander, but now we're seeing how the Butcher and Homelander are very similar in their backgrounds, which is very, very kind of fun thing to release in a show.
Both have daddy issues.
Daddy issues. If you guys haven't seen the daddy issue episode, which is the most recent one done with season 2, episode 7. Season 2, episode 7. Really fun one because we are all about daddy issues in that one.
Yes. So now he's trying to be a dad.
Yeah.
And
no reference for him.
Can you be a dad if you're drinking baby milk still? Or does that make you a baby? So he has a lot of issues. Obviously, he has a lot of issues. Poor guy, you know. But milk. We're going to touch on the milk thing. Let's get the milk out of the way.
Again.
So we see he loves milk. He gets like pleasure from milk. Mother's milk. Not mother's milk, but like mother's. You think they did that on purpose?
I don't know. It's
mother's milk,
so disgusting.
And it shows that he hasn't even matured yet, basically. You know what I mean? Like he's still in a very like childhood mindset. He may be super strong, and he may be the ideal Aryan race, whatever, for Stormfront and her Nazi dreams. But
he's a Superman baby. He's a baby man.
He's a baby man that has unbelievable powers.
Not as much as Arnie, but he has unbelievable powers.
Almost as much as Arnie. Maybe if Arnie drank more baby milk, he'll have more powers.
Milk is for babies. He even says it in the Pumping Iron film.
And it's just so interesting, right? Because like season 1, they used his relationship to Sitwell.
Elizabeth Shue's character,
yes, right? I think Sitwell, was her name. Yeah. To control him, right? And then at the end,
which was a cool dynamic. I really liked her character.
Yeah, and it was cool because she had like the power play, but you could tell even she was freaked of Homelander kind of thing. But then at the end, oh my gosh, 180. Butcher thought he had the upper hand, and gets lasered, melted to the face.
Kadoosh!
So,
Yeah.
and that's in it right away, season 2, we see him have total withdrawals from all that, where he makes the shape changer person. Remember that whole sequence? Yeah, the doppelganger turn into
Look
her.
like her.
And he would have sex with doppelganger, probably.
Yes. So you're making me gross out about milk now.
This is his story.
You're just condensed it and spread out the gross stuff. God.
So he obviously, like I said many times before, I probably state over and over again, a lot of issues here.
A lot of acceptance issues.
Yes.
And you've seen that from him having the vision when the crowd was booing him and just laser.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shots was just so cool looking.
I think it's something that we're going to see more of, especially once he's realized, like once the public knows he's bad, then it's like all bets are off. Like, I don't care then. Like if he doesn't even have that's the only thing that's really keeping him in check right now is his public image, right?
Yeah.
And that's what him and Stormfront, their relationship kind of was built around, because she's like social media queen.
One of my favorite moments with Homelander, after Stormfront helps him, he walks into her trailer all smiling. She goes, "What's up?" He goes, "Me. 5.5 points." And it shows that's what's important to him. And why was he initially attracted to her? Because she helped him get that recognition. And then from there, obviously, she's kind of brought him in everything else.
Yeah, and also how much she praises him too.
That's true. Yeah.
And it's weird too, because like if we're going to jump into the relationship now, because it looks like we're heading that way. We find out her background. She's deeply involved with the SS or Nazis, all that stuff. Like, you can't get more
married to a Nazi
Hitler than her right now.
Yeah,
she's basically like the Hitler in the show. She kills people.
The perfect thing that Nick said is Homelander's, what Nick was saying, her perfect match. Like, he's everything that embodies
an ideal, from the looks of it though. Maybe she's trying to mold him to be the right thing, or maybe that's even why she wants to get a hold of the child. Yeah, it's like a fresh mind meant for molding kind of thing. And if she can convert baby Homelander, like if she was able to convert Homelander as a child to,
I mean, as an adult,
but like if she had access to Homelander, she did. Technically, she did, because she's been around all this time. Yeah. But like if she had access to morphing his train of thought of who blend we should be beliefs and all that stuff, maybe this is what she's planning on doing with his son. But he's a terrible father, as we can tell. He pushes his son off a roof.
One of my favorite moments, by the way. All the bad dad moments are my favorite moments in this series. Just he'll fly, don't worry.
Yeah.
But you know what, again, you have to relate to the character, because he has no reverence for what a good father is. It's like the baby, birds are pretty big jerks. They just push the babies out of the nest. You don't fly. All right. Well, you just, but that's how it's done. And he's like, he's just helping the little baby bird fly.
Yeah. And then that's kind of the gist we're getting with the son too in this newest episode. He needs to be exposed to the world. They kept me in a cage. And then when I was exposed to the world, it overwhelmed me, kind of thing.
No, it overwhelmed you?
No, I'm talking about Homelander. I just got released from the cage. Actually, we're all in a cave right now due to COVID. Yeah. But no one really likes Homelander.
It's so mean.
It's true, though. Like, no one, like anyone he gets close to, like Maeve.
Yeah, so Maeve we could talk about a little bit. So it's interesting because he had that big jealousy when he found out that she had, a lover. And then... Is that gone now, or do you think he still wants to be possessive over everybody? Because we haven't found out yet. We obviously don't know. But what do you think with that?
No, I think he wants everyone to love him.
And they didn't touch this in the episode so far, but Maeve and her girlfriend, now that Homelander's with Stormfront, they haven't touched on, do they even know that? Because would they be still scared if Homelander was Stormfront?
I think everyone's scared of Homelander.
Yeah.
And I think that's why no one can get close to him. Because even if they are getting close to him, their fear of being lasered in the face. It's true, though. It's very true. Yeah. I mean, even Sitwell had a fear, even though she was the one that was controlling him. And I think even Stormfront will have a fear to a certain point, I feel like. So we're going to deviate from this a little bit. Nick, and if you haven't seen our episodes, we're going to get into comic spoiler territory just a little bit here. Look at you.
The fun thing, what Nick said, is that so far, in a lot of ways, they have not followed the comics, and I like that.
Because to certain points.
For people that have already read the comics, they have new stuff to watch. For people like me, no, it's not going to get spoiled. But so Nick was saying, in the comics, if you don't want to hear this, maybe fast forward just a few minutes.
We'll put the time to skip to.
Homefront goes full crazy, just killing everybody and stuff like that. And I'm curious if they're going to do that in this as well. They're just getting to it through a different route or not.
I mean, you have to. I feel like that's where they need to go for shock value, Game of Thrones value, or I mean, like that. You want to push characters to their limits, right? That's what makes it so great. Like the Deep getting pushed to his limits of being pushed out, so he has a way to come back. And you like when characters get pushed, like Butcher getting pushed, knowing his wife's alive, but now hit the soup for the son. Like the more you push the character, the more interesting the character gets. And I think with Homelander, you only can go more evil, because I think deep down he wanted to be good at first when he was a superhero and stuff. But I think then you get into the business aspects and the polls and how you ranking and stuff, and then it basically becomes this. It just so much where he's like over it and he's into himself kind of thing.
Maybe, I mean,
there had to be some like he wanted to do good at first, like
of course. I mean,
actually, when Butcher went to the scientist guy and he asked him, remember how he said he was good and he had to break him and stuff like that.
That's a really good plot point that they mentioned that we almost forgot about. Is again where we're in season 2, episode 7, where Butcher went to go see the scientist guy and he goes, "What was Homelander like when he was little?" He goes, "He was actually a really sweet, loving kid." He's like, for what we were going for, I had to break him of that." So, you're saying the only way he can go is evil. I almost feel like it could go the other way as well. Like I almost feel like Butcher and him could almost meet in the middle. Like, by the time that Homefront,
you think it'll flip where Butcher's the big bad?
No, I mean I don't think that would do good for the story series if they made Butcher a bad guy.
Well, think about it. It can go either way right now, right? So if Butcher kills Homelander's son, Homelander will be the big bad. If Homelander kills Butcher's wife, Becca, Butcher becomes the big bad. So right now it's like whose move is it, right?
Yeah.
Because now technically, is Becca needed because they put the son? That son betrayed her so quickly, man. By the way, it's like, come on, like they made it look like the son was so attached to the mom, but just like with one little lie, all of a sudden it's just like, you're gonna shoot your mom? Is this Raised by Wolves?
Good job spoiling that series too. But it is. So I mean, I imagine she's going to play back into the plot, but she's only going to be a story beat to get Butcher refocused. I mean, she's not a main character. It seems like. No,
I think she's just going to be used for motivation now.
Yeah.
Just like how the son's going to be used for motivation. Yeah. I don't think the son storyline is going to really go anywhere. I think it's just it's just like a motivation for the character now, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it seems like that.
We'll just kind of end it with like, how do you stop Homelander?
I mean, it doesn't seem so unless Stormfront is somewhat as strong as Homelander. She took all the laser and she was fine. So I mean, they've clearly depicted her as being a very powerful, long-lasting super. The first one that doesn't necessarily make you the strongest, but she doesn't age. So I mean, she's not even breaking down.
And there's even a theory where like he's made from her clone.
Is that a comic thing?
So in the comic books, Stormfront, it's a dude. The
Stormfront's a dude in the
comic books.
Oh, interesting. Oh.
And basically, from his DNA or whatever, they used to make Homelander because they know how well it worked, and that's why they were able to pump him up with more V to make him super strong.
It's like the Wolverine Project X or whatever.
Yeah, kind of like a Project X, just like we talked about in I think a couple episodes ago when they go into the whole testing thing.
Yeah,
Homelander was the one they put all their money into, kind of thing.
Okay, interesting. All right, so how do you stop Homelander? The only way, I don't know if you can stop
him. Create another superhero?
The only way you can control him is if you feed into his insecurity. So, I mean, you don't stop him in that route. You just kind of...
Yeah.
But then if he gets to a point where
how do you kill him? I mean, you Professor X him, where you have some guy that has mind powers, you put a mind block on Phoenix Storm?
Head pop? I don't know.
Head pop, I know. But his head didn't get popped. Can it get popped?
Head popped? I don't know. Professor Pimple Popper.
So, comic book theories. We talked a little bit about it in the last review. So in the comic book, Black Noir is a clone of Homelander.
Which he definitely is not in the series because he does not look like the Aryan that Stormfront want to be with. Yeah.
No, exactly. And
which I like. I like they're deviating from the comics.
Which is great because everyone knew that plot. It was like it's like Luke, I'm your father kind of thing in the comic book world, where it's like even if you didn't read the comic book, you kind of knew that, like, oh, the twist, oh yeah, you know, Black Noir is a clone of Homelander, you know, it was like just a thing that's known. It's a stronger version of Homelander, but like Black Noir after
it's a
killing
stronger version of Homelander.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
But it basically, the fight was so intense, even though Black Noir killed Homelander, Black Noir was basically like a skeleton at the end of it. Or Butcher just came with a crowbar and like popped his brain out at the end or something like that. Which is very Butcher, right?
Yeah, very, very, very Butcher. Yes.
So let's make the quick comparison. So he is the perfect evil Superman.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like everything like was, if it was real in this world, if we had a Superman, you would think about it like even with superheroes, they would have a PR team. They would probably be making movies. You know how much money they would save on visual effects if they can actually do real superpowers? And you know what's so funny? Like, I know you don't watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. In The Legend of Korra, you know, they started doing these movies. There's people that can shoot fire and water and stuff. But in the movies, they fake it with pyrotechnics. It's so funny how they still fake it, but instead of just having people do it. But like maybe that's what they would do anyways. Complete diversion there, but it's so interesting because like he's such a good negative like Superman or bad Superman, and it's fantastic. Everything about his character.
But he's so good because they still give us reasons to relate to him too. If they didn't do that, then he wouldn't be the perfect.
Yes.
Anthony Starr, the guy who plays Homelander, definitely one of our favorite characters. Like he
might be one of my favorite actors right now.
Yeah, I mean, because he plays this stone cold killer, then he shows you his emotional insecurities, and then he can play like,
he tries to be funny. He goes through the whole phases of all the different emotions,
and he does them totally seamlessly too. So really good.
There's just so many good moments, like in this last episode when he's talking to Becca outside, like you can't tell what he's really even thinking about. You know what I mean? You could tell he's trying to process what she's saying, but he's trying to come up with his own idea too. It's so good. Like his emotion really and like the way he can take the character and stuff like that. Even going back to like the first two episodes, when he's like searching the cars for the area looking for the invisible guy, like when he's like knocking on the window. It's just like there's just so many good scenes with that character. Oh my gosh, there's so many good scenes.
He's a perfect, I mean, of course, as the stories go along, they're depicting him as such, but he's a perfect opposite to Butcher.
Yes.
Like, they're both brutal.
Yes.
They're both not good or evil. You know, they just,
They're just meant for each other.
And there you go. That's the spoiler for the end of the entire series of The Boys, is Butcher and Homelander end up together.
What if Butcher's his clone? No, I'm just kidding. I wonder if they are going to do a clone thing, though, but something else. Anyways, who cares?
All right, guys, so... go ahead and check out our Stormfront deep dive if you haven't already. She's a very fascinating character. And just in season 2, we've gotten so much information about her. We're so curious if we've gotten so much information she's going to continue to be a character or if she's going to play out her role. But really, real fun character. Check out that one.
Our deepfake, too, of Homelander.
Yeah, checked out our deepfake from Homelander, of Queen Maeve, and of the Deep. We got one of Deep coming up. So go ahead and check out AsArt.space for all the audio and video links. And we'll see you on the next AsArt.